What's up, Tampa? It is February 27th. For those of you just joining us, welcome to Tampa Talk. I'm John.
And I'm Dahlia, and thanks for spending a little bit of your morning with us.
All right, what are we talking about?
Well, we've got Tampa civil rights history that really shaped the city, some education and public safety updates, a conversation about AI entering local journalism, pedestrian safety changes in Ybor, and also a story that might change how you think about strawberry season this year. So for this week in the work...
now I'm thinking about strawberries. Keep going.
I think we should maybe chat a little bit about all the new staff we're kind of bringing on. I mean, we just continue to keep growing at WellBuilt Cities, and this week that had to do with people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to say, I mean, for as long as the drop has been open now, there's only been, it's been me and Lindsay over there holding it down and a ton of volunteers. But we have April and Dan both coming on at different capacities. April's actually going to come on as a director. But what I kind of love, and I think you guys have brought someone on recently as well, and we were just like naming all these stories, and I was like, what's kind of cool is these are all organic, growing relationship, employment. Like I didn't get anyone's resume. We didn't like post the job listing. It was just like, these are people that are kind of in the work with us and can actually help in a particular way or are helping in a particular way. And but I am really excited for our kind of bandwidth to grow and having more, many hands make the work light. And in many ways, the many hands we have are volunteers, but having like coordination staff is really important. And so, yeah, I'm ecstatic about some of the team we're bringing on over there.
Super important. I think Dan's a really good illustration. Like, coming as a student, having been an intern with us for like a year or so, maybe even 2 years now, and a year and a half or whatever, and then now transitioning to this like paid role, and seeing him even today, he was like ecstatic about it. I was like,
he's loving it.
Yeah. And that's really cool to take somebody, young mind. We talk about interns and volunteers, and I mean, again, just as an example, and being able to see that come to fruition where like he understands the work, he's bought into it,
Well, and even just learning over time, like, and I'll just share this with everybody listening. Like, Dan is a student from UT. He's involved with this really cool program that connects them with local nonprofits, and they put in, I think he's like 9 hours a week with us through this program. And he initially started working directly with me a couple years ago. And to be honest, I really struggled with that. I was like, I didn't know how to utilize him. It's like because he was young and inexperienced, and I didn't know what to have him working on. And at the time, he wasn't like on site as much. And it was before we had the drop. And we ended up I passed him on to someone who felt more managerially gifted in the team. So Chrissy kind of said, hey, I can help with that. And has utilized him well over that time. And I realized like having the right leadership in place, especially when you need some development or you need that to kind of come on. But then now that we have the drop and there's very clear roles, and it's like he's back working directly with me and right by my side. And I'm like, oh, it's the best. Like we know exactly what to do. It isn't difficult. And I know for me, it's been a point of reflection of like who and how I work well with people. But like a lot of it is like, if you could just jump in and work shoulder to shoulder with me, we're going to be great. If I have to be super organized and communicate a bullet of all the tasks, I'm like, I'll just do it. I'll just do the things. And like, and so, but like, we're all different. It's just a bit of the diversity of team and why it's good for us to have someone we can pass folks along to. And so we can kind of get aces in places, and he is loving it. He's loving it over there. And so today, we're able to say like, hey, we still have those 9 hours with him, but hey, can we buy 30 more, or whatever he has available outside of his classes?
Yeah, no, I think that'll be really cool to continue to see him develop professionally, as a young individual in that space. And then it just speaks to our whole ethos of, again, focusing on the relational, right? Like how can we continue to identify people who are invested in this work and then promote them to positions of ownership and, responsibility within the network. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm not going to act like we've never posted a job, and we've actually had one of those that went really well, but it is kind of amazing to go, a lot of times we're going to look around the room and be like, who's already here doing it?
Yeah.
Who's already here doing the work? And I mean, and also if you are out there looking for something, not necessarily with us or in our arena, but there's a lot to be said for just showing up and doing the work and being valuable in a place, like to create a place for yourself, create opportunities for yourself. And I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, and actually just sticking with that for a second, because I think that's really important even when we think about WellBuilt Cities and kind of this like new nonprofit. We're trying to do nonprofit work a little bit differently.
Figure out a new thing.
Even within our individual like subsidiary areas, we're trying to do food system work a little bit differently, trying to do transportation work a little bit differently, embed social enterprise, incorporate sweat equity, like do these community food ambassador programs and hire volunteers into roles as we get funding. And I do think that speaks to like the success that we've been having over the past couple of years, is because when you're bought into something without the salary, right? Like
that's right.
Then the salary is just like a cherry on top. And I don't know. I think I can't like maybe draw the perfect line that I'm hoping to draw, but I think it's just really cool how we've seen that organic growth through organic relationships, and it's working.
Yeah,
so far.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It's been like it's all just magical. It's all just magical. I like what we do. I'm grateful we get a chance to do it. And let's get into this week in Tampa history.
Yeah, well, so this week in Tampa history, actually, this is pretty timely because I think we're rounding out Black History Month here. But this week takes us back to February 29th, 1960, when Woolworth lunch counter sit-ins began right here in downtown Tampa.
What's powerful about this story is how young the leaders were. About 40 students, mostly from Middleton and Blake High School, organized peaceful sit-ins to protest segregation.
They were led by the NAACP.
NAACP.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, I didn't say that right. Youth Council president and the state NAACP president, and they showed up day after day, quietly, peacefully, and persistently. Yeah.
So Mayor Julian Lane actually ordered, and some of you will know that name from named after this mayor. Mayor Julian Lane actually ordered police escorts after the first day, not to suppress the protests, but to protect the students, which is really important distinction when you compare Tampa to other southern cities at that time.
And then just days later, the city created a biracial committee to address tensions and push towards racial equality.
By September of that year, 18 department stores in Tampa had desegregated their lunch counters. And Tampa did it largely through nonviolent action.
Yeah, it's a really great reminder that change doesn't always come through like dramatic confrontation, but sometimes it's about persistence, courage, and young people deciding the status quo isn't acceptable. And if you want to learn more about this, we have a very good play. Maybe you want to speak a little. Is he still airing that at all? Can you still watch that anywhere?
I don't know if you can find it anywhere. There may be a video recording. There is a documentary about this now. I believe the documentary is called Victory. That is available. I know they screened it at Tampa Theater recently. The documentary is just about this moment in history in Tampa. But our friend Mark Lieb wrote a play that is absolutely incredible. It was at Stageworks and then it was at the Straz, and I'm hoping it'll come back and maybe it'll be available again. If you ever see it available, make sure you go. And God, I was told him the last time I hung out with him, I was like, I really would love like Netflix to pick it up. Like someone needs to make like a legit movie about this, but it's such an incredible story. That plays an incredible dramatization of it. Obviously there was some conflict, there was some butting heads, there was some ugly situations, but it was just an incredible story of kind of righteous defiance of unjust rules done through nonviolent peaceful protest, and man, just an incredible piece of Tampa history. Some of us will know these civil rights stories in general, but it's so cool hearing them like that's on this block, that's that building.
Yeah, it is. And I think his play is called When the Righteous Triumph.
When the Righteous Triumph. All right, so let's get into the news a little bit. First up, Hillsborough County public schools are installing vaping detection sensors across all high schools.
I can't even imagine how crazy vaping is in high schools.
Yeah. I've known a lot of young folks. Yeah. There are a lot of them
also
vaping,
like pre-vapes,
which is so stupid.
Like, you know, you're less likely to light up a cigarette in a school, right?
I definitely did that.
Well, I'm not saying people did it, but I'm just saying you're less likely, right? Versus it's very easy to vape indoors.
Yeah.
But this is part of a broader push to create healthier learning environments and reflects how widespread vaping has become among teens.
The numbers are pretty staggering. In 2024, over 2 million middle and high school students reported using tobacco products, and more than 1.6 million were using e-cigarettes.
Yeah. So the district is rolling out the tech starting at, Bloomington High. That was alma mater. I don't know if you use that word for high schools. Where staff and students are actually part of the conversation about how the sensors might shift behavior. So that's down in Brandon.
So it's interesting. This is one of those cases where technology isn't just about enforcement, but signaling culture change.
In other news, Tampa police are reporting another year of declining crime across major categories. It would include violent crime, property crime, and nonviolent offenses, all trending downward.
So according to the department's annual report, Tampa ranked 4th lowest nationally in violent crime among major cities and the 3rd lowest among comparable cities.
Police are crediting a mix of technology, outreach, and cooperative partnerships with the community.
So whether you agree with all the strategies or not, fewer people being harmed is probably generally good news for the city. So this one's fascinating. The Tampa Bay Times has quietly been publishing AI-generated stories since September.
And many readers haven't even noticed.
The system uses templates filled in with public data covering things like real estate transactions, weather-related breaking news, etc.
And it raises a lot of interesting questions about the future of journalism, what automation handles well, and what still requires human storytelling.
Exactly. So data can be automated, can be automated. Context and trust, they're harder to automate.
Mm-hmm. Pedestrian safety improvements going on in Ybor include a new pedestrian safety measure following last fall's tragic crash on 7th Avenue.
We're talking about increased police presence, reduced speed limits, new four-way stops, more safety bollards, narrowing Nebraska Avenue approaching Ybor to slow traffic.
And some residents are pushing for a pedestrian-only zone on 7th.
I'm a fan.
I would love to see that during at some point.
They used to do it certain nights of the evening. They just shut the road down during the evening.
Well, they still do that occasionally. And I think they close down the road when the club's let out still.
Yep, maybe. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm not down there, but it used to be every Thursday night. It was college night, and they shut it all down.
Sarasota does a really good job of closing their main drag to pedestrian only during the night, and businesses pull tables out into the streets and everything. And I think that's so cool. That's something I would love to see in Ybor.
So business owners are concerned that removing vehicle access could hurt commerce, which highlights the constant kind of balance between safety and their economic vitality down there.
I would love to see them implement it and see if that actually does the reverse. Because if you can bring tables out into the streets, you can increase your space, right?
Yeah.
And as long as people get used to park, why do you need to park on 7th? Park on 8th, park on, there's only so many spots on 7th to begin with, you know?
Well, and they always have the little hoods over them anyway.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah. Well, in terms of the cold weather that we kind of just saw behind us, we are entering strawberry season, but there's kind of a bigger story going on behind the scenes.
Recent freeze events have caused more than $3.1 billion in losses in Florida agriculture, potentially one of the most damaging cold events producers have seen in decades.
So the freeze hit crops across vegetables, citrus, sugarcane, fruits, and horticulture. And because many crops weren't ready to harvest yet, farmers couldn't mitigate the damage.
Yeah, it's wild. The estimated impact is actually far greater than the agricultural losses from Hurricane Ian. Yeah,
and for context, I think Helene, we saw $10 billion in damage. So $3 billion of just cold weather versus, a massive hurricane ripping through.
Well, and I don't know your experience, but a ton of my own friends and neighbors, and it's all the plants are dead.
Yeah, it's definitely the horticulture, ornamental plants around the house. I do think, we manage garden spaces, and so it does require a lot of prep to make sure you don't lose those things, but then think about that in terms of massive fields, right? You
right,
can only
yeah.
do so much.
I was just, Dave, that is the groundskeeper at the Florida Mindfulness Community, is every evening and every morning out there, covering every plant on the property with sheets and then coming back out and getting them off in the morning. And you have a massive place and you don't have the hands. It's just an incredible amount of labor. And so,
totally.
Major loss. All right, some early movement in Tampa politics. Council member Lynn Hurtak has officially filed the paperwork to run for mayor in 2027.
So she's the first elected official to enter what's expected to be a pretty competitive race, saying she wants more collaboration between the mayor's office and city council.
Hurtak pointed to challenges getting information on major city projects. It says leadership style and transparency will be key themes in her campaign.
Former Mayor Bob Buckhorn and Councilmember Bill Carlson are also widely expected to run. So even though the election is still a ways off, the race is already starting to take shape.
I was really excited to see her announce. Put out a cool ad this week. Was it Wednesday? I think she announced her. But yeah, it's and I'll be interested to see who else throws her name. I haven't seen that Bill Carlson has officially put his name in, but I think it's quite certain. There's a lot of stories going around that he will. And then Buckhorn's a for sure. He's definitely trying to come back. All right, a lighter note. The Florida Strawberry Festival is officially underway in Plant City.
Yeah, so live music, rides, pageants, pie eating contests, and the strawberry shortcake all around. It will be at Plant City. It's over at the strawberry grounds. Like they have their own grounds for this, and there's even some really cool like strawberry passports and things going on that to like support all the farmers and growers and spots where you can get milkshakes and shortcakes even outside of the fairgrounds happening this year, which I believe you can pick up at the individual sites. So like if you go out to Parksdale, they'll give you a passport for strawberries.
Nice.
And then downtown is turning into an outdoor gallery with the Gasparilla Festival of Arts happening at Julian B. Lane Park this weekend as well. And they'll have 250 artists, thousands of visitors, and one of the top outdoor art festivals in the country. And it's free as well. And then we'll be out at Rude Awakening Farm tonight, if you're listening to this on Friday, starting at 5:30 for the first ever Farm Fest. So it's a night market taking place at Rude Awakening Farm, and we're going to be out there with our mobile kitchen, serving some farm fresh produce that's going to be converted into something you can buy from our truck. And there's some other vendors there as well selling.
This event is going to be. You guys are planning on doing this every month?
Every month on the last Friday of the month.
That's awesome. And then, as always, we're going to be out at Harvest Hope Park. The Kinship Mobile Free Market will be sharing groceries this morning from 10:30 to 11:30. And then we'll have a crew over at the Ybor Street Community Garden on Ybor Street from 3 to 5.
Yeah, so if you're looking for ways to get connected, serve, or just meet the neighbors, that's a good place to start. All right, well, that's what we're talking about this week.
So, guys, if you enjoyed the show, please engage with it. Please comment, rate, share it on your socials. You can just hit real quick share wherever you're listening, add it to stories or make a post. It really does help kind of get the word out, and we just want to engage all of you to be engaged citizens and gather more of you around what's going on and knowing the word on the street here in Tampa. You can share the link tampatalk.xyz, and if you want this to come straight to your inbox every Friday morning at 6 a.m. with a link to the podcast, you can subscribe at wordonthestreets.xyz.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and until next time,
y'all be good.